I don't know.
The hell?
How do you think in the future the patient experience is going to be?
If we were in their position, knowing what we know, what would we do now?
Do I want to go to practice myself? What are the economics of that?
All right, we are in the business. Our profession is dentistry.
I did it again. I can't spell.
So where we left off last time around, we were talking about the West Loop space in location number 4. Give you a little bit of quick update on where we are now. Aren't in permitting yet. We officially finally got the keys a couple days ago. So we're ready to start to finalize design. Brought on a branding team that we used for our rebrand, which I don't know if we've talked about before or not, but we're going through Dentology's new rebrand for Dentology 2.0, which will launch pretty soon. So that's going to be very exciting, but we want to work in that same branding element so that way any future practices we open are, recognizable.
The experience is actually the biggest thing we're working on right now. We want the consumer or patient from the minute they're at home to when they come in the door to when they get in the chair to when they go back home. It's just so uniquely Dentology.
It's not necessarily how are we going to be unique relative to our competitors, but how are we changing the field of dentistry in the future in general, and what type of impact or legacy are we going to leave, and it's always been a big picture for us.
So I think what would be a good transition for this is us taking this and what we're doing this upcoming weekend.
Yeah.
What are we doing this weekend?
A district in the East Coast of ASDA, which is I think 7 or 8 states or something like that, reached out to us and said, hey, we would love to have you guys speak at our conference. Okay, Bryce, for the speech this weekend, what do you guys want to kind of talk about that really gives the students a lot of value?
Well, the theme is the future of dentistry, right? And it's perfect because they are the future of dentistry. And so how they roadmap their careers is going to be relevant. If we can kind of cut to points that will impact what decision they're going to make for the next several years,
I think fundamentally you still have to get very good at dentistry, because ultimately, even though we are in the business of people, your product is the dentistry. So your product has to be phenomenal. And I think we're very ego-driven as professionals a lot of times. Put your ego aside. Like, you need to do 1,000+ crowns. You need to do 1,000+ fillings. You need to get yourself to where your quality of your product is good. And I'm not saying excellent, just because I feel like it's the pursuit that matters more. As long as you keep doing it, you'll naturally get better at it.
I think consume as much information as you can, right? In dental school and when you graduate, right? Because ultimately, like, where we thought we were going to be at the end of dental school is not where we are today, right? 10 years later, right? Again, aging myself out.
We're in very different positions than we thought we'd be in.
100%.
Extremely different.
100%.
We all thought we'd be like owners of a practice on our own. It's very different.
One thing that these students have is resources. There were no resources for us, 0. I think the big thing is just think about what you want to do, right? I don't think you shouldn't make a decision exactly what you want to do, because obviously you want to be fluid enough to be able to choose a different direction if you don't want to. How do you think in the future the patient experience is going to be?
But I think the future patient experience is definitely a very tech-focused, actually a people-focused, but tech involvement. It also involves training our people to understand people.
Do we think the future of dentistry is going to be built by non-dentists?
I think it should challenge our industry in saying if someone could come in that has no experience in our industry and make a dramatic change, something's wrong with us.
I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think it's outside thinking. I think it's outside thinking, but what are they doing? It's direct to consumer, but it's what the consumer. It's based on what the consumer wants.
We see a lot of these direct-to-consumer companies that we all know of, we all hear, and we see advertising for them, where they have realized that there's other they've done in other industries where having a great acquisition model, a great marketing place, great imagery, beautiful branding, and at the same time they can deploy those things, but patient care may not be at the forefront, right? So I think that the industry's already seen that, and I think now I think the next wave is going to be all of this great, beautiful branded, direct-to-consumer type of businesses, but with good dentistry, right? And I think that, and I hope, right, as I hope that there are dentists that lead that charge, because I know if the dentists lead that charge, the clinical quality of care and the quality of care is going to be probably at the forefront, right? Even though we say we're business people first, maybe dentists second, really what we're saying is patient care is first, business is second, right? And that's how we've always run our business. And
Patient care should be the standard.
Always.
Right? So we don't even talk about it that much because that's the expectation.
Yeah.
Like when we hire docs, we say, you know what, I expect you to do good work. I expect you to do amazing work, and to continue to hone that skill. It's the other things that are going to make the dentology experience what it is, and that's why we hire the way we hire. It's maybe we don't talk about it all the time because we know that is the expectation.
Which is why we wanted to revamp a lot of things, because we do believe that by providing a great patient experience, we will be profitable. Like they're actually synchronous.
With the industry moving towards becoming more systemized and DSOs, I think there's a huge benefit, right? Better for patient care, better for patient experiences, better for doctors, more predictable income. But can you provide some spice to that, right? And make the experience good for patients, the doctor experience, and make them not feel like they're like gonna live and die in somebody else's organization, right? So, these are things that we think at Dentology is, I think we're able and capable of figuring out a way to be able to kind of marry both of those, the DSO and the feeling like you're still an entrepreneur.
Our next episode, maybe we'll dive in deeper into understanding when we open up a practice, what does it actually look like from a financial and what we're looking for.